Om Shanti. Good morning. So, a hearty welcome to everybody joining today morning in the Avyakt Murli Club. So, as we all know that today is Buffer Day, and each first Sunday of the month, we have a special guest coming amongst us so that we get benefit out of the words of wisdom from them. So, today we are very fortunate to have Baba's angel, Dr. Kanishtha Agarwal, with us from US, and she'll be sharing a beautiful topic, exploring a beautiful topic on the healing power of forgiveness. Let me quickly introduce to you. So Dr. Kanishtha Agarwal is a former pediatrician from India. After moving to the US in the year 2006, she decided to make a switch from the conventional medicine to focus on the preventive aspect of healthcare by completing a master's in public health from Michigan. And later on, she also pursued PhD degree into the mind-body medicine from California. She is associated with Brahma Kumaris and regularly practicing Rajyoga Meditation since last 22 years. And at present, she takes care of the services at Caroline and at Georgia area in the US. So we are very fortunate, sister, to have you today. And yes, we would love to hear because as Baba always says, not sometimes, but always, forgiveness is a very powerful tool which helps us get rid of the past harsh feelings or negative thoughts. May that be person, may that be with us, may that be any situation which comes our way. And often I feel that these negative thoughts becomes hindrances in our purusharth, in our self-efforts. So we'll be glad to hear your views and your churning on this beautiful topic of a healing power of the forgiveness. So once again, welcome to you, sister, from the entire BK family, from the Avyakt Murli Club English, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for that lovely introduction. I am so happy to be with all of you today. Thank you for inviting me. And yes, definitely this topic of forgiveness is very important for all of us. So I'm going to start this presentation. Let me share with you the PowerPoint. So today's topic, as you all know, is about the healing power of forgiveness. So I would like to divide this topic into two sections. One is to forgive the self and others, and another is to ask for forgiveness. And both these dimensions of forgiveness are very important for healing. So let's understand this topic. I would like to start with defining what is forgiveness. Psychologists, they have defined forgiveness in many different ways. So some of the definitions I have picked it up for you all to just think about what is forgiveness. So forgiveness is to move on from upsetting memories and then focus on something better, more important, more rewarding, more empowering in the present moment. Forgiveness is about conscious, deliberate decision to release, that means to let go the feelings of resentment towards a person or a group who has harmed you, regardless of whether they actually deserve your forgiveness or not. Forgiveness is also about peace and understanding that comes from lessening the blame of that which has hurt you and taking your life experience less personally, and seeing the cost of holding a grudge. So these are a few definitions that I found. And then I was thinking about what Baba has told us about forgiveness. What is forgiveness? What is the spiritual definition of forgiveness? So in Avyakt Murlis, Baba has talked about what is forgiveness. So if we look at this word forgiveness, so there is this word give in this word. So what do we have to give? So Baba has told us that you have to give blessings, blessings of good wishes. So forgiveness means to give blessings of good wishes, to give love, respect, cooperation, and at the same time to have pure feelings. So that is one definition of forgiveness. And in another Murli, Baba had told us that forgiveness means to have realization in your heart. The method of realization is the forgiveness. So now let's look at what are the different types of forgiveness. In the research, they have defined two types of forgiveness. One is decisional forgiveness. So it means that you decide that, yes, I want to forgive this person. And there is no longer any resistance towards that offender. You just make a decision. I want to forgive. And then the second one is about emotional forgiveness. So in this type of forgiveness, it's kind of gradual, where the person gradually replaces the negative emotions, unforgiving emotions of bitterness, resentment, hatred, anger. These feelings, they are replaced with positive emotions of compassion, mercy, love, all these feelings. So these are the two types of forgiveness. And then it's also important to know what is not forgiveness, because sometimes, people get confused whom to forgive, how to forgive, and also why to forgive. So it's very important to know what is not forgiveness. So forgiveness doesn't mean that someone is choosing to stay in an unhealthy, toxic environment. We don't have to be in any abusive relationship. That is not forgiveness. Forgiveness also doesn't mean that you are condoning someone's bad behavior. That means you are approving someone's wrongdoings. That is not forgiveness. Forgiveness also doesn't mean that you are denying the other person's responsibility. So what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is really about letting go of the resentment. Because see, resentment is like holding burning coal inside. And if someone is holding, these feelings, these negative emotions, then what happens is that the person himself gets affected first. Even before the other person gets affected, the person himself is the one who is getting affected. So that's why it's very important to let go of the resentment. Yeah. And when we hold on to these negative feelings, it's important to understand what happens to our physical body. Because see, whatever goes in our mind, whatever, the feelings that we are holding inside our mind, that impacts our physical body. So I'll give you here a little bit of understanding of what happens at the level of our brain and the body when we keep holding on to the feelings, these negative feelings, bad feelings inside us. So see, if someone has done something wrong with us, what happens? The conscious mind keeps thinking about it over and over. It kind of dwells in the past. not only you think about that person, that situation, but the conscious mind also kind of brings those images on the screen of the mind. So it's like, you're watching that movie over and over, again and again. So if you keep looking at the same images, what happens is that you keep generating, you kind of relive the same emotions. So when you relive the same emotions, then what happens? Um, you kind of, you are in that mode where you think that I am a victim of my emotions. So this information, this thought, the mind is creating this thought that I'm a victim of my emotions. So this thought is kind of interpreted, this information is interpreted by the brain, as if I am a victim. So see, this is the place, the front part of the brain, that is called as prefrontal cortex. So this prefrontal cortex, it carries the information from here, from the front part of the brain, to this part, that is the limbic system. The limbic system is that system, that part of the brain that is involved in processing our emotions and our memories. And it has many different structures, like amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus. All these structures, they constitute the limbic system of our body. So when this information from the front part of the brain, from the prefrontal cortex, it kind of goes here, it triggers an alarm to amygdala. And amygdala is very sensitive. So it receives this information, and then, these negative emotions, because these negative emotions, they cause release of many unhealthy neurotransmitters like adrenaline, cortisol, stress hormones. These are the stress hormones. So these stress hormones, they are then released into our system. And because of that, our body gets affected. There is muscle tension in the body, and then, other parts of the body also get affected. Yeah, I'll be talking about that in a moment. But it's very important to understand, here, that this is what happens when we keep holding on to the feelings, the negative feelings of resentment and bitterness. And there is also happiness meter inside the brain. And when we create these kinds of feelings, then, this happiness, the scale goes towards the left side instead of the right side, because our condition becomes miserable because of the secretion of these stress hormones. On the other hand, the moment we start creating good thoughts and we let go of the past, we don't dwell on the past, and we stay in the present moment, and we don't think about, the hurt, and we don't generate those feelings, those negative feelings, and we keep generating good feelings towards the person, of love, of compassion, all these beautiful feelings. If we generate, then what happens? This alarm gets turned off, and then, there is this weakening of this connection between the prefrontal cortex and amygdala. So that means there is no release of any negative, any stress hormones. And then the scale, then automatically the scale will go towards the right side. Yeah. And because we are generating the feelings of love and happiness and compassion, what happens? The body kind of generates happy hormones. And these happy hormones like dopamine, serotonin, these are some of the good hormones that the body generates. And because of that, we start feeling good. And this meter then turns towards the right side. So see, this is what happens when we forgive. And then it's important to know, if we don't forgive, it's like a burden that we carry. So we carry this burden, and this burden actually, recently they have said that unforgiveness is actually like a disease. They have classified in medical books, they have classified unforgiveness as a disease. And there are so many problems related with unforgiveness. Because of the release of these stress hormones, there is anxiety, there's depression, there is pain in the body. Many times it's very hard to find the cause of the pain. And if we really go deeper and we talk to ourselves, we will realize that this pain that we are having in the body is because of holding on to the negative emotions from the past. So that's why it's important to let go of these negative emotions. There is also sleep problems and heart disease, then stroke, and because of the release of these stress hormones, the immune system of the body gets weakened, and because of that there is cancer. Actually, now in a study it was found that in cancer patients, about 61% of these patients, they have forgiveness issues, and out of them more than half, they have this severe form of forgiveness. Yeah. And there is a surgeon, his name is Dr. Stephen Stanley Ford. He actually, what he said, that it's very important to treat emotional wounds or disorders because they really can hinder someone's reactions to the treatments, even someone's willingness to pursue treatment. So if we are not forgiving, then the treatment also becomes ineffective. So that's why it's important to forgive. So they have actually added, in cancer treatment, they have added forgiveness therapy as part of the treatment. So this is where the role of meditation comes into play. We have to really, really use the power of meditation to forgive. Yeah. So now, knowing all of this, forgiveness is our choice. So now we understand what are different drawbacks of unforgiveness. So if we understand this, then we can make a choice. I like this quote. Someone had said that forgiveness is to set a prisoner free and to discover that prisoner was you. So we are the ones who actually are in prison if we don't forgive. And when we forgive, then it gives a feeling of liberation. We are completely liberated from the past, and we see ourselves, as if we are creating a brand new future. So that's why it's important to forgive. So forgiveness is actually a very important power. We all have this power. Baba had told us that forgiveness is one of our spiritual powers, the power to pack up. The 8 powers that we learn in Rajyoga meditation, one of the powers is the power to pack up. Power to pack up means not dwelling on the past, not dwelling in the past, and putting a full stop, not to think about the past, putting a full stop to whatever happened, whatever someone did to me, just put a full stop, forget about it, and move forward. So it's my inner power, and I need to develop, we all have to develop this inner power. So how can we develop this inner power? Before we go into that, it's important to understand many different levels of forgiveness. So what are the different levels of forgiveness? Let's understand this. So we can divide the different levels of forgiveness based on how long we take to forgive. So the level 1 forgiveness. Sometimes people are not able to forgive. They take a whole lifetime, even when they are dying, it's hard for them to forgive someone. Yeah, so that is level 1 forgiveness. Level 2 forgiveness means maybe taking a long time, maybe years or months or weeks to forgive someone. And then coming to level 3, when people take short time, maybe days or hours to forgive. And even higher than that is level 4 forgiveness, where person forgives in real time as it is happening. That means person does not even have to think that, this person should be forgiven or not forgiven. Person thinks that, whatever this person is doing, whatever harm this person is doing to me, it is for my own benefit. This is actually an opportunity for me to grow. So level 4 forgiveness, person takes everything in a positive way and don't feel the need for anyone to come and say, that forgive me or something like that. So that is level 4 forgiveness. But there is even higher level, one more level of forgiveness that is even higher than this level. Anyone would like to maybe think about the level 5 forgiveness? You want to try? Anyone? What would be level 5 forgiveness that is even higher than this level? Maybe you can think about it for a moment. What would be level 5 forgiveness? It's a beautiful one, actually. It's the highest form of forgiveness. Let's see what it is. Yes, someone raised the hand. Yes. Please go ahead. What do you think? Yeah, many are raising their hands. So is it possible to unmute them, or maybe they can write or chat? Let me see. Maybe to be the symbol of forgiveness. Yes, someone is saying that. Yeah, that's a good one. Become a symbol of forgiveness. Yes, very good. Level 5 is imbibed in Brahmin students. Okay, good. Yeah, others can also chat. Connection with Baba. That's good. Yes, of course, we have to connect to Baba. Level 5 forgiveness. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, I see a lot of people are excited about it. Yeah, many others are raising their hands. So you can chat. Forgiving the self. Yes, good. Thinking it as a test paper. Yes. Yes, good, good. Yeah, I like the way you all are interacting. Understand from other person's perspective. I'm able to give that soul just blessings. Yes, and love. No thought for giving forgiveness rather than being a form of forgiver. Very good. It is their role, karmic account, provide all types of help needed. Yes, you're coming very close to the level 5 forgiveness. Yes, see what is level 5 forgiveness. Even before that, I would like to talk a little more about these levels, and then I will go with level 5. Okay, so based on how we forgive. Yeah, I'll come to level 5 forgiveness in a moment. I will let me finish these 2 levels, and then I'll come to level 5. Okay, so level 1 forgiveness is based on how we forgive. Yeah, so you forgive only after a person has apologized many times. So person is coming to you and saying, I'm sorry, many times. And then you say, okay, I forgive you. Yeah, so that is level 1. Level 2 is you forgive the person as soon as the person says sorry to you. That means, level 1 and level 2, we can say that it's a conditional form of forgiveness. You are putting the condition that Yes, only when someone says sorry, I am going to forgive that person. And then level 3 forgiveness. Even the person, before he or she apologizes, you are forgiving the person. Yeah. So that is level 3. And then level 4 forgiveness. Forgiveness is not even a question. Yeah. You are not even thinking that the person should come and say sorry. Even you are, like I said, in level 4, the other one also, level 4 forgiveness means you are seeing that, seeing it as an opportunity for growth. Forgiveness is not even a question. You don't even think that this person has done something wrong, and even if he has done something wrong, you are okay with that. You are taking it in a positive way. Yeah, so that is level 4. So what is level 5? Level 5 forgiveness is that level where you are actually helping the person change. You are helping the person bring about transformation. Yeah, because the person has done something wrong. So you are not saying anything to the person, but you are giving the person so much power, so much energy, that the person is able to bring about the transformation in his life. So the one word that we use here, yeah, that Baba teaches us is Sakash. Yeah, so you give Sakash. So Sakash is what? You are giving the Shakti, the power, and the light. The light means the light of understanding. You're giving the light of understanding by becoming a form of forgiveness. Like someone said, you become that form, right? And then you give that Shakti to that person. That person himself understands that I need to bring about change and I need to go and I need to say sorry. So you are forgiving with that power. So that is level 5 forgiveness. Forgiveness with a bang. Yeah. And then there is third very important thing. Sometimes, people forgive based on how much we forgive. Sometimes people forgive only partially. That means they forgive for this thing. This person did this. Okay, I'm okay with this. But the other thing that you did, I'm not going to. This is unpardonable. I'm not going to forgive. Yeah, so it's not complete. It's only partial. So complete forgiveness means you are forgiving the person in complete. You're not keeping anything inside. You're completely forgiving the person. Yeah. So there is no grudges, no resentment, no negative feelings. Yeah. No matter what the person did, I completely forgive the person. Yeah. So that is complete forgiveness. So we can actually develop the power of forgiveness and we can heal ourselves using all these 3 levels, 3 different types of things that I talked about. So the first one, like I said, based on the time. So you should forgive the person quickly instead of taking a long time. The earlier we forgive the person, the better it is for us, because then we will free ourselves, from that negative energy quickly. So we will actually cause less harm to ourselves, right? So forgiveness should be quick. And the second thing is forgiveness should be spontaneous. There should not be any expectations that the person should come and say sorry to me. So it should be spontaneous, it should be natural. And thirdly, forgiveness should be complete, not partial. I should be able to completely forgive the person. Yeah. So these are the 3 things that I like to call as the healing triangle of forgiveness. Yeah. Now let's talk about what are the steps that we can take to cultivate forgiveness. Baba always talks about self-checking, right? We need to check. We need to go within. We need to use the power of introversion. Yeah, that's the power, the first power, the power to withdraw. We need to go within like a turtle, and we need to examine ourselves. We need to investigate ourselves. What is going on? What am I holding any negative feelings towards myself or others? Because unless we check, we cannot change. So, what are some of the checking points that we can use to cultivate forgiveness? So, the first one, what is my level of forgiveness? Yeah, so the three things that I talked about, now we can check, where am I? Which level of forgiveness am I in? And then, how do I feel if I am holding grudges or resentment against someone? What is the feeling that I am generating inside? And then this is a good question to ask the self. Am I here in this world to experience sadness or happiness? Why am I here? I don't want to experience sadness, right? We all want to experience happiness. That's why we are here in this world. So you can ask ourselves this question. Am I here to express and share positive or negative energy with others? Because see, whatever I feel, whatever I create, that's what I'm going to share with others. So if I'm sad, I'm going to send the same energy, the negative energy, with others. So what am I here for? Yeah, so that we need to ask ourselves. And then if I am holding on to the feelings of, negative feelings, then how these feelings are serving in my growth? So this is another question that we need to ask ourselves. And once we check, then we can bring about transformation. We can bring about change in the way we respond, the way we feel, the way we behave. So our response depends upon the way we perceive the situation. And we have all Rajyogis, we all have gotten this beautiful lens of knowledge, lens of wisdom, lens of understanding that we can use to perceive the situation. Because our response depends upon our perception. And our perception actually depends upon where we are focusing. So we need to bring about change in our focus. If we keep focusing on what the person did to me, then we will always keep creating negative feelings, right? So instead of that, we need to change our focus. Yeah. And how we can change our focus? The way to change our focus is by changing our awareness, changing our consciousness. And this is what Baba is teaching us. To change from body, change our consciousness, shift our consciousness from seeing the self and others as bodies towards the soul. So when I change my awareness and I keep looking at others as beings rather than, I focus on the being rather than doing, then what will happen? Then I will see only the beauty in everyone. Then my focus will shift. Yeah. So the key to cultivate forgiveness, we can say that the key to cultivate forgiveness is soul consciousness. Because the moment I shift my focus from the body to the soul, I begin to see the beauty. I begin to generate good feelings, because soul consciousness means what? Soul consciousness means generating the feelings of love, brotherhood, yeah, compassion, all those feelings will emerge. So we need to work on soul consciousness. That's the first and most important lesson in Raja Yoga. And this is a beautiful blessing that we all have received from Baba. I will go over this blessing. May you be a master ocean of forgiveness and give teachings through your form of forgiveness, right? So see, Baba is teaching us to be at the top level of forgiveness. That is the level 5 forgiveness. That's what Baba is teaching us. So Baba is saying that if any soul tries to shake you off your stage, if that soul has an attitude of harming you, use your attitude of benevolence to transform and forgive that soul. If you are unable to transform them, become a master ocean of forgiveness and forgive them. Your forgiveness, that is Shama, will become a form of teaching, that is Shiksha, for that soul. Nowadays, when you give teaching, some will understand, whereas others will not. However, to forgive means to give the blessings and cooperation of your good wishes. Yeah. So this is such a beautiful blessing from Baba. When we really become an embodiment of this blessing, it will be very easy for us to forgive others, and not only just forgive, but actually help them bring about the transformation. And in that process, we actually heal. That healing power we are able to generate. Okay. So now I will move on to the second section. Like I said in the beginning, I'm going to cover 2 sections today. I talked about the first one. Now the second one is about asking for forgiveness, right? So in this also there are different levels. So I'll go over these with you. The levels of apologizing based on how long we take to apologize. Again, the same duration. Here again, sometimes take a lifetime, whole lifetime, or maybe never apologize. That's level 1. Level 2, when you are taking a long time, maybe years or months or weeks to apologize. Level 3, again, you take a short time, days or hours to apologize. And level 4, when you are then and there, you apologize in real time. So this is based on how long you take to apologize. And the second one is based on how we apologize. This is very important. So level 1 means you are apologizing only when you are reminded. And that too, you are showing an attitude. Very grudgingly you are apologizing, like saying, okay, sorry, I'm sorry, just very superficially. Yeah, because someone is asking you, you are, out of compulsion, you are apologizing. That is level 1 apology. Then the second one is you are apologizing with some sincerity, but only when you are reminded. There is some sincerity in this level, but still you have to be reminded of. And then level 3 means you are actually apologizing spontaneously. You don't need anyone to be reminded of. Yeah. So you are apologizing spontaneously. Now, after understanding these levels, it's also very important to know the steps that you can use towards a meaningful and effective apology. When we are apologizing, it has to be meaningful and effective. And for that, I've come up with 6 R's that you can also use to apologize. So step 1 means, if you did some mistake, then you have to show your remorse. That yes, it's all my mistake. I'm really sorry. You have to show your remorse. I wish I had not touched this thing. For example, let's take an example. If you maybe you are washing dishes and all of a sudden, you break a very beautiful maybe coffee mug. Yeah. So at that moment, you show your remorse. Oh, I wish I had not touched this coffee mug. Yeah. And then step 2, you tell the reason. You know why? I wanted to help you. That's why I was trying to wash this coffee mug. So you can tell them the reason for that. And then maybe step 3, you can take the responsibility. Yes, it is all my responsibility. I owe apology from you. So you take the responsibility. And then, oh, sorry, the fourth one is not coming. Fourth one is actually repent. Now you really have to repent. You have to say that, it's all my mistake and I'm not going to repeat the same mistake. I will be more careful. From next time I'll be more careful. Something like that. You need to repent. And then, step 5, you have to do something. You repair. That means maybe you can go and you can get a new coffee mug for that person, because you actually messed it up. So you have to do some kind of replacement. So repair or replacement, whatever you want to call it as. And then lastly, you need to request, that I hope that you have forgiven me. Yeah. So can I please ask you for forgiveness? Something like that, So you can request, you can make a request. So you can use all these 6 steps so that the apology is not just, I'm sorry, just superficial you are saying, but it is really meaningful. You are saying from your heart and you are really apologizing in this way. Yeah. So I like to call this as healing quadrangle of asking for forgiveness, where your forgiveness is, again, it's quick. You're not taking a long time to apologize. And it is a spontaneous, without expectations. And then that means you are not reminded by others to say sorry. Yeah. And then thirdly, it has to be genuine. That means you have to follow all the 6 steps that I talked about. And then you have to be creative also. Sometimes you have to go out of your way. If you see that even after saying sorry, the person is not happy with me, then you have to go out of your way and you have to be creative. Maybe you go outside, you buy a cup, and then maybe you draw something in that cup. Be creative, and then you gift that cup to that person, so that you really touch the heart of the person, that yes, I'm really, really sorry for what I did. Yeah, so you have to be creative in this way. And then most important is that we have to connect with the supreme power, the supreme soul, who is the ocean of forgiveness. For whatever we do, we have to connect with him, because see, the power that I was talking about, the sakash, we can give sakash to others to bring about the transformation only when we ourselves are filled with that pure energy of benevolence, of compassion. So in order to fill ourselves with that energy of love, energy of compassion, so we have to connect with the Supreme Soul. Yeah. And when we connect on a regular basis with him, then we are able to absorb his energy that we can use to forgive the self, forgive others, and also we can apologize. Yeah. So I think with this, I will end. And before I end, I would like to summarize that forgiveness is a healthy choice as it relates us from negative emotions. Yeah, it's our choice. Both forgiving the self and others, as well as asking for forgiveness, both are essential for complete healing. Forgiveness should be quick, spontaneous, genuine, creative, and complete. Self-checking and self-transformation are the steps to cultivate forgiveness. Soulful awareness, that means soul consciousness, is a key to bring about a change in our attitude, our perception, our response, and our feelings towards others. And most important, connection with the Supreme enables us to fill ourselves with love, empathy, and compassion that are essential for healing. Yeah. So with this, I'll end. Om Shanti. And I will hand over it to brother now.
Om Shanti, sister. Pleasure having you, and indeed it was very insightful. A very good amount of research you have done. As you have done your PhD, so I could see that research orientation, how beautifully you have decoded the topic, as well as found out different ways how we can, forgive people, the reason for forgiveness, and again, why uh, uh, this is so important, especially for us as Brahmin life. So now I will ask everyone if you all have any questions. We still have a couple of minutes. Maybe we can ask the sister in case if anybody has any questions related to this topic or around it. You all can choose to unmute yourself, or you all can choose to put the questions down on the chat window.
Om Shanti, sister. I really like this point where you explained that this is like a prison. It prisons me. So I would like to free myself. And I liked your thing when you said it's like holding to a coal of fire. Even I feel it is like as if I'm like drinking poison and I'm expecting others to die. And I find what you said is correct. If I don't forgive, my heart shrinks. Something happens to my heart. And I'm not able to wear love. I'm not able to even grow myself. And after becoming a Brahmin, when Baba says we have to love the other person, it's a very important tool which we should really practice. I like that point, how I free myself. I have to give to get.
Yeah, and this is what Baba is teaching us, to stay light, stay happy. And we can stay happy, stay light only when we release ourselves from all these negative emotions. Right? Yeah.
We have a beautiful comment by Sister Shivani. She's mentioning that this made so much sense to me, and it gave her some new points, a completely new perspective. Never thought of this the way you mentioned. So gratitude from Sister Shivani to you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.
Om Shanti, sister. I want to ask a question that suppose somebody is there, suppose somebody in our family suffering from disease and want to heal himself, but he is holding his thought. And in that case, how can we heal him? Om Shanti.
Yeah. Yeah. So see here, what Baba is teaching us is that, we have to become a form, where we have to help the person. We cannot tell people what to do, because if we teach them, they are not going to change. Yeah. So what we can do is, yes, of course, gently we can tell them about, the harmful effects of holding on to the negative emotions. Gently you can tell them, but at the same time, you have to help the person come out of the negative emotions by increasing your positive energy. You be around that person and you try to, maybe if the person is is interested in a little bit of meditation, you can help the person that, yes, let's together heal. Yeah, I can feel your pain, what you are going through. Let me sit with you. So you give love to the person. So if you do in this way, that person is not able to generate positive energy, but when you are close to him, you can sit and you can really create positive energy in such a way that that person is also able to receive that energy from you. You can sit and you can help the person connect with Baba. By you connecting with Baba. That's what Baba says, that souls have become so weak. Souls won't be able to connect to Baba and take his positive energy. But what we need to do is, we need to connect to Baba and we need to give the souls what they need. Right? So we have to keep increasing our energy. The more we help ourselves, that's what we say, that when we change, the world around us changes. So our positive energy will definitely help the person change his feelings. Yeah, this
Yes.
is what we have to do.
Okay, Shanti, sister. Thank you very much, sister.
Yeah, Baba said, no, that forgiveness means to give blessings. So you keep giving blessings to that person. May this soul be full with positive energy. May this soul be always happy. Yeah. So these kind of thoughts we can create for that soul. And slowly, those beautiful thoughts, they will touch that soul. Yeah.
Yes, Shanti. Thank you, sister.
Om Shanti, sister.
Yeah.
Sister, once I got deceived with a very close relation and got hurted. But now I recovered from that pain of hurt, and I am okay with that person. But sometimes when I thought of that, the rigorous pain and very deep hurt of feeling is having inside me. And how it will be spontaneous, sister? How can we develop that forgiveness to be spontaneous? I too wish to like that.
Yeah. So this is, just like you are finding it hard to make it spontaneous. You can make efforts by connecting with Baba. Baba says that nothing is impossible for you. Yeah, there is no word like impossible in the dictionary of Brahmins. So these kinds of thoughts, if we give to ourselves, and more we stay in the present moment, that will really help us to become, to become more and more forgiving, and we will not hold on to those grudges from the past. Yeah. So that is what we all need to do. We have to keep doing, it's a process, right? It's going to take some time. So you have to talk to yourself. It's okay if this thought is coming, but from now onwards, I'm not going to pay attention to this thought. I'm not going to pay attention to all the images, the stories, all those stories. I'm not going to bring those stories. So in this way, you can talk to yourself, and slowly, your mind will learn. This is what Baba is teaching all of us, training us. Yeah. It's a process. So we have to be patient. We have to use all the qualities. Baba always says, if you want to develop the powers to pack up, you have to use the qualities. So we have to use the qualities of patience, love. The thought is coming, the feeling is coming. So you accept, and then say to your mind that, yes, enough is enough. I don't want to hold on to this thought. I don't want to hold on to this feeling anymore, because I know that this is not good for me or not good for my body. So this kind of self-dialogue you can do with yourself. And slowly your mind will understand, and it will not go in that direction. Okay?
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. And one more thing, actually, we are living in a joint family, and I am the Brahmin in that family, and all others are non-BKs only. So their culture and their way of spending, everything is different. Their attitude, and they are spending, their habit is so difficult for me to digest, actually. But I am the only earning, and my husband and his brothers are doing joint business, so we can't get separate from them. The other family, they are doing so much expenses, even though I can't say anything, but now there is no pain in my heart also. But how can I make the transformation, sister?
Yeah, that's what, we have, because it's not just your story, it's everyone's life, it's the same thing. There's so many people, in this world where there's so much of negativity in homes. But slowly, what we have to do, we have to work on ourselves. That is what we have to pay attention to. Just look at ourselves and just try to change ourselves. And when we change, definitely change will happen around us as well. Yeah. So
Okay,
just be
sister.
patient. Be patient. It will happen soon, very soon. You keep working. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thanks. Sister, there are a couple of questions also in the chat window, and a lot of compliments, a lot of gratitude for you. It was really insightful for all of us, but as we know, we are ticking off the time, and it's already 6 in India. So maybe we can pause this session for the moment. And yes, I would like to invite you again and again into this forum so that we get to listen something more from you, dear sister. And definitely whatever inspirations you gave us today, we would reflect on it, and we would try to implement. So before we close the session, sister, would you like to take a couple of minutes reflection into this forgiveness? Or yeah, so let's do that quickly, and after that, then we'll close the session. Thank you.
So let's sit with this awareness that I, the soul, am a being of love and compassion. I am here in this world to give love, to give blessings, to give cooperation. And I can give only when I have it. And I can have it only when I am close to Baba, the ocean of forgiveness. So see yourself very close to Baba, absorbing his love, absorbing his pure energy. Making yourself full. And now giving sakash to those souls who really need Baba's love, Baba's pure energy. Remember, you are a very special soul because you have the power to give. You are a powerful soul, a very special child of Baba. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister. So I can see a few new people also joining. So just for your information, we have this Avyakt Murli Club group where we meet daily in the morning, 5 a.m. Indian Standard Time. So you all can choose to join us daily. We churn on one of the Baba's Murli on a daily basis. We started from 1969, a couple of months ago. And our journey is, the plan of the journey is to read all the Murlis up to the year 2017. And once again, sister, for joining us, Kanishka, today. It was really pleasure meeting you. And I can see on the chat, Balvindra ji, you need some help. So Rakhi Ben or someone of us will get in touch with you, definitely. And all others, thank you for joining. Really appreciate you joining on the on the Sunday morning, and we'll hope to meet you all again tomorrow. Om Shanti. Have a nice day.
Om Shanti. Thank you. Pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you.